So this is unbelievable. I can't believe what I'm hearing on this video about Ash's creation.
Taking equal to do a successful route within 90 days. I just need us to get $2 million to cover that time. Because you are my... You won't control it or the board. Be prepared.
Oh my God. Wow, I can't believe what I'm looking at with this video on Ashes of Creation. It just blows my mind to hear this stuff. It's hard to comprehend the amount of stupidity. Again, if this is true, it's hard to just comprehend the amount of utter stupidity. It's I don't really know what to say. It's hard to believe. It's just it's hard to believe. What am I supposed to kill? Not these guys. A Harleshi Windwalker. Okay. Hmm. I don't remember this quest. I have a lot of quests, and I have so many quests in this zone. Of course he resisted.
Alone be praised.
EM baby girl. Um, I think I'm going to jump in this guild reflection. Pretty big, over 400 members. Um, I'm not in a guild, and I think it might benefit me to get in a guild just so I can see. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I don't even know where guild is in here. Guild. Here we go. You know what I want to do? I want to change this if we can. Why am I not getting the? Ooh, man, my UI is acting up. I think I'm not getting like the escape menu. Hold on a second. This is weird. I'm not getting the menu. When you hit escape. I want to get rid of the skin for the guild if they have it. I want to remove that, but I don't see it. The other option would be go to skins, which is our modules here. And wow, let's get rid of this one. I wonder if I got rid of the group frames, if I would give the option to resize. I don't see guild in here though, unfortunately. Nice thing about playing on a server like this that has layers is we can easily get into a group just by switching layers, which helps just for testing the interface. So yeah, see, we have this, but we don't have the ability to. I was hoping we'd have the ability to manipulate this. But it doesn't look like it. Yeah, doesn't look good. Oh, good. So switching friends out did give us the old guild, which I prefer better, actually. Level. So many priests there are. I'm a priest. There's not a ton online. Highest level priest online currently is this one. Alright. See, the menu's down here. Why is it down here? Yeah, somehow the menu's getting screwed up. Let me see if there's an update to the Guild Wars 2 UI. There might be an update. They update it fairly frequently. Okay, last time it was updated was February 12th. So it was 2 days ago. I don't know if that's newer than my version or not. But we'll go ahead and update it anyway. I think this is newer than one I have. We're going to copy this. Go into here. Anniversary. It's a big add-on. Alright, now we're going to reload the UI, and hopefully some of these little bugs are worked out, I hope. And they're not. I can still see the menus down here for some reason. I don't know why. So let's go to options. Let's go to add-ons. Make sure that bartender is not enabled. Huh. I don't really know why removing the skin for the friend list would do that. It's kind of a bummer. Let me... I don't like the way the Guild Wars 2 UI is showing. It's still showing this down here, which is completely wrong. It doesn't normally do this. This is really weird. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm just gonna have to exit out entirely. This is weird. But yeah, I've been watching this video on Ashes of Creation, and it's absolutely, I can't believe it. It's called $115 million debt. Investors manipulated for more and more money. It's actually blowing my mind. I can't believe what I'm reading, and I can't believe what I'm hearing. It's just unbelievable. The Stephen Shreve character is turning out to be the biggest narcissistic, like, delusional, like, just the guy is exhibiting signs of someone who grew up in a world where everything was handed to him on a silver, on a platinum spoon, and he thinks everything's easy, and he's just gonna go off and start a company and make millions, and everything's gonna work. And oh man, was he wrong. It's weird though, the Guild Wars 2 UI this wasn't an issue yesterday. I don't know why it's doing this. Like this thing that's showing up, and this wasn't like this before. I am a little bit unsure of why it's doing this. Wow, this is gonna suck. Let me get to a safe spot. And this is the micro menu. I'm wondering if I somehow. It's the micro bar. That's what it is. I must have accidentally clicked on that. So let's get rid of. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Okay, much better. So, yeah, I mean, looking at this video on the Ashes of Crusade, I just can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, it's literally blowing my mind. This guy Nefas QS, whatever, he's done this video called $115 million Debt, and I've watched the first 39 minutes of this, and it's just insanity. Like, Stephen Sharif from Ashes of Creation just kept like spouting off stuff like, "Oh, we're gonna have the greatest game ever," and basically just not really lying, but just basically assuming that creating an MMO and paying his employees was going to be some simple task. He was basically burning money as he was getting money. You know what I mean? It was doing this balancing act of borrowing money from people to pay his employees and not, so he wasn't ever fully funded. He completely lied. I mean, again, if this is true, if what this guy says in this video is true, Steve, you know, and I don't know for sure if it was, but Stephen Sharif, if it was true, was lying to his employees. He was lying to everybody. You know, it's just awful, to be honest. And he really, if it's true, he probably should be in jail, because that means I think it's mismanagement of corporate funds. It's also, I'm pretty sure it's illegal to lie to investors. I think it's illegal to lie to your own employees. I don't know. It seems very, very shady. So, it's just, I don't know what else to say. It seems it's hard to believe, really. It's just hard to believe. Oh, here's the Windwalker, right? Is that, I'm supposed to kill these Windwalkers, but I never saw one. That's the first time I've even seen a Windwalker. Oh, okay, so the Windwalkers are just up here on the hill. Okay. I never saw them because they were always dead. Someone was always up here killing them. But here, I want to watch this. This is insane. Listen to this.
Prepared. You have totally fucked up and fucked me. So I apologize. This is no lie. He would lose his fucking mind. An hour and a half later, Jason.
So basically, this guy Jason was giving Stephen Sharif, again, if this video is to be believed, this guy Jason was giving Stephen Sharif millions of dollars. And apparently he was giving him money that he couldn't really afford to give him. Like, and then Stephen had some sort of deal with some sort of Chinese company that fell through, and he was counting on that deal to give him money to pay his employee their salaries. And that deal fell through. Now he's like begging his friend Jason for more money, but his friend Jason's getting way more money than he should have ever given him to begin with. Jason's an idiot. I mean, I feel really sorry for whoever this Jason person is. I feel really bad for them, because they fell for Steven's, like, oh, we're gonna, this game's gonna be huge and we're gonna be the next World of Warcraft. And he fell for it like hook, line, and sinker, and put too much money into it that he couldn't afford to put into it. So really, just a bad situation, And, but what's interesting, that video is that's 2019. The company didn't shut down until till this month, or beginning of this month, on 2026. So that means, I mean, when you read those text messages, it looks like Ashes of Creation is going to fall apart in 2019. But somehow they must have gotten out of that, because obviously the company continued on until 2026, until till February. So I'm really interested to see what happened. He must have somehow got money from somebody. So very interesting. Dreamscythe alphas. I need to get a guild though. I've had a few people ask me the guild, but I'm really anal when it comes. I'm anal about my UI. I'm anal about my guild tabards. I don't want to be in a guild that has an ugly guild tabard. But I actually did get into a guild, and because I like the guild name. The guild name is Reflection, and I was like, Reflection's kind of a cool name, right? And the person, and it's quite a few people. There's a total of 442 guild members. It's a little concerning that only 53 are online, though. That is a lot of people. Let's take a look. Also, what you want to do when you have a guild, you want people to be on, at least to be online within the last, especially on a new expansion release, you want them to be online within the last couple of days. So let's see how many people who've been online within the last 24 hours. You have to go all the way down to here. So that's pretty good. You've got like 70, not even 70%, like 50, I don't know, 58, 60% of the guild's been online in the past 23 hours. I guess if you go 1 day, but I'm sure 1 day can go up to more than 1 day. If you go out to 2 days, it's here. And now you've got 2 days, 4, 5. I mean, seeing all these people, how could these people not, this is weird. Well, okay, so this just means that this guild existed before. This guild existed before this expansion came out, so. Because there's people who haven't been on it. I mean, I don't know why, if I'm running this guild and someone hasn't been online in my guild in over a month, they're gone. Like, I usually kick people who haven't been online in 2 weeks. For a new expansion, 2 weeks. If you haven't been logged in within 2 weeks, and I would put that in the guild rules. You know, if you want to stay in the guild, please log in at least once every 2 weeks, right? Otherwise, you're going to get removed. But anyways, we'll see. Maybe we'll see if this is a decent guild. Who knows? You never know. But right now, I'm just kind of wandering aimlessly. I'm not really leveling with much direction right now, to be quite honest. Just kind of running around. A lot of the quests are a little bit tough for me. Like because I'm a caster, so if the mobs are like higher than level 63 or higher, they resist a lot of my spells, which makes killing them a little bit difficult. So some of these quests like this one are pretty easy. The mobs are level 61, which is good for me. They're not going to resist too many of my spells. But once they get to 62, 63, it's a little bit challenging. So when I was over in this area over here, you can see, and really I should just be looking at the quest title because see it's orange. I shouldn't really be doing any orange quests just simply because of the spell resist factor, right? I'm not a shadow priest. I don't have talent points into, making sure that they don't resist my shadow spells, for example. So there's no talent that says, increase their ability to resist my holy spells. You know what I mean? There's no talent for that. Like if you look in over here, you've got shadow focus. It reduces the target's chance to resist your shadow spells. There's nothing in like the discipline or holy tree that says, hey, reduce their chance to resist holy spells. At least not that I'm aware of. Would be nice if they had that though, wouldn't it? Anyways, I can't help but watch this video on Ashes of Creation because it's like going to the candy store. You just can't get enough. Look at this shit.
Would text Steven, are you paying me today? Almost 3 hours later, Jason again says, bro, I need some answers. This is not cool. A couple of days after, Steven says, I'm meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. with a Gap financing group. It's a long shot, but I don't know.
So here, keep in mind, this is in October of 2019. Steven didn't have the money to pay his company's payroll on the 15th.
Man, in a bad spot, Google and Amazon got back, and Anderson Horowitz, a fund up in Menlo Park, all interested in discussing equity opportunities, but that's minimum 3 months to turn around a series round. Payroll is on the 15th. I'm not sure what to do. Jason then says, I am not in a good place at the moment and I need to pay my bills too. I am so far deep into your deal and honestly, this is not a good spot for any of us. If I come up with anything, you can run this company and build it, but you won't control it or the board. Be prepared. You have totally fucked up and fucked me. So I apologize. This
wow.
is no longer Jason, your buddy.
Look at this. I am not in a good place. So this is the guy who's been giving Steven millions for Ashes of Creation. This guy's already put up like $5 million for Ashes of Creation. I'm not in a good place at the moment, and I need to pay my bills too. So I am so far deep into your deal, and honestly, this is not a good spot for any of us. If I come up with anything, you can run this company and build it, but you won't control it, or the board. Be prepared. You have totally fucked up and fucked me. He's basically saying, if I can come up with somebody who will give you money, they're going to want a percentage of the company for the money they give you. So you're not going to have any control over this company, Intrepid Studios, right? You're going to have no control over them. You can have no control over the board. This was in 2019. So I'm super curious to see what happened. Like this video is great. It's like, and again, I don't, you know, I believe this is probably true, but I don't know. I mean, it seems to be true. It's unbelievable though. Look at this. I've been a non-game software developer for 20 years. What I will say is this is exactly the same behavior you see from any Silicon Valley tech company. The difference is that the general public is insulated from it in other companies. They also have the general public is insulated from it in other companies. They also have boards 100% of the time, and those people know what they are doing and know when to fire the CEO. Steven tried to run a game like a tech startup, but had no idea what the fuck he was doing. It had no adult supervision. I've been saying for 15 years that Silicon Valley is completely fucking corrupt, but the money keeps flowing, so no one really cares. Thanks for the video. Wow, we were supposed to get a dev update today. I guess this was it. No doubt there's financial fraud in this web of lies. And here's what I said: the amount of sheer stupidity shown here by Steven is insane. Steven, because he's so narcissistic, he's probably reading the comments on this video. I said, Steven, seriously, narcissism alone is bad enough, but paired with delusions of grandeur and just utter and complete incompetence is mind-blowing. Right? The game actually exists to scam Jason. That's a funny one. This still leaves a huge gap between 2020. Yeah. So I guess he doesn't. I guess this only goes to 2021. This dude's voice caught me. Yeah, his voice is very deep. 1 hour of pure gold. Yeah, so I guess this only covers it up to 2021, which is a little shame. It's just kind of a shame. I wonder if this video will let us know what happens to Jason. Does he totally say "fuck you, Steven"? And so he basically says, be prepared. He says, if we get money to help you, you're not going to control the company or the board. Be prepared. You've totally fucked up. You fucked me, so I apologize. This is no longer Jason, your buddy. This is Jason being serious. I have to either liquidate crypto and or get a loan against it or borrow more money from someone. And at the moment, because I gave you $5 million in debt. So he's basically saying is I gave you $5 million I really couldn't afford to give you. I also borrowed $5 million against my distributorship, which I'm not really sure what he means about that. My distributorship on the other deal. I didn't have the money I gave you anyway. It's neither here nor there. I'm just as fucked as you.
This is Jason being serious. I have to either liquidate crypto and or it will be insanely
Then Steven's like, I understand.
successful. I cannot say how fucking angry I am because you says I understand. You $5 million in debt. I am just as fucked as you. In response, Steven
now what's funny is listen to Steven calling these Chinese people these Chinese fucks.
Says, I understand. I know the spot you're in. I'm in the same spot.
I'm in the same spot.
Horrible.
I'm in the same spot. You're in the same spot because you can't take money from people. Okay, you can't like have a company based on this kind of like crazy like dream of like, okay, and it came out in Ashes of Creation. It was costing them $800,000 a month to pay their bills, right? 800,000. That means that has to come from somewhere, right? Steven never had the money, and what's worse is Steven lied about having money. He kept saying, "Oh yeah, I've got 50 million." He never had that money. At least that's what it looks like. He never had 50, 60, 80 million dollars. It sounds like Steven, when this whole thing started, had about 3 or 4 million, right? And that's all he had. But he kept telling people, like he kept telling this guy Jason, oh, if you could pay if you could pay 100,000 at this, I'll pay 100,000. He kept saying like, if you pay this, I'll pay this. I think he was basically fudging all the numbers right from the get-go. I think he was basically lying about the numbers, saying, okay, if you can pay, like basically I think what happens, he needed $200,000. So what he would do is he would split it out and say, well, okay, I need 50,000 for this and 100,000 for this and 50,000 for this. I'll pay this 50,000, this 50,000, and you pay this 100, and you pay this 100,000, but what all he really needed was $100,000, but he made it look like he needed 200,000 and that he was paying 100 and that Jason was only paying 100, which wasn't the case. I think Jason was paying all of it. I don't know. That's what it sounds like, but that's just speculation on my part.
Because you are my friend, and I know this project will be insanely successfing.
I know this. I love how the person who did this video accentuates his voice and tries to pretend as if he's Steven, giving that emotion, because like as if this is what Steven is doing, saying, because he probably is, right? This is gonna be insane. It sounds like a Silicon Valley. Like this is right off the TV show Silicon Valley, man. This project's gonna be insane, man. We're gonna change we're going to make a difference. We're going to change the world and make the world a better place with this video game.
Say how fucking angry I am at the Chinese fucks. Had I known, I would have prepared to do an investment round and easily cover our asses. Is there?
Yeah, so here he's saying he had to deal with some sort of Chinese people to give him some money, and they pulled out. He's saying if I would have known they were going to pull out, I would have already prepared to do an investment round to pull an investment to cover, paying the employees. This is where you screw up. You can't base your balance sheet off of I've got $0, and at this point of the month I've got to pay 800,000, but I know like a week before that I'm supposed to get this money, right? You can't base a company off of that. You can't, you have to have money to cover in case emergencies happens. Be like MicroStrategy has so many billions of dollars in cash. So when crypto drops, when Bitcoin drops to a certain amount, they know that they can cover some of the stuff based on the fact that they've got so much liquid, cash on hand. You can't just run a business this way. This is unbelievable. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Anyone who can cover a loan of $2 million to us for 90 days, I can get a series done in that time.
So he's looking for a loan for $2 million, which is going to cover his employees. I don't know why he needs $2 million though, because we know that it doesn't cost well, no, he said 800,000 a week. Maybe that's how much it costs at that point to pay his employees for a month.
Probably raise around 30 to 40 million and give up a chunk of equity. If we miss payroll next week, that becomes impossible though, and then we are really up shit creek without a paddle, sad face. I can't sleep because I feel so terrible that we are in this spot. I am sorry, man. Love you more than my own family. I'm sorry we hit this bad spot. There's no doubt that we can do a successful round within 90 days. I just need us to get $2 million to cover that time. I don't know how or from where. In the next set of text messages, panicked realization sets in as the understanding of the collapse of the deal between iDreamscythe and Intrepid becomes clearer. Jason starts crashing out, understandably so here. I don't have anyone, bro. You're on your own in that. So if you come to me to borrow money, I am taking an equal share of equity, bro. That's it. I am done. Sorry, but I am fucked and I need my $300,000. I should have not even given you that because I didn't have it extra to give. Please understand, you have put me in a bad spot. Steven then replies, 5 days later, hey brother, I've been working
5 days
some
later.
kind of gap funding while we prepare the Series A round. A firm here in San Diego called Mint is helping us by trying to find short-term lenders, but they aren't going to find one in time. Is there anything you can pull together by Thursday? I know this is a shit situation.
He keeps asking this guy for money, and the guy keeps telling him no. He's like, I can't give you money, but he keeps going back and asking him.
You're pissed.
This is like not a nice thing to do. Obviously, Steve was in a really, really bad spot. I don't know, man. It's just unbelievable.
I'm pissed about the fucking Chinese, but I'm trying to protect both of our investments. Bottom line, if we can survive 90 days, then we can do a round and raise a shit ton of money that'll give up equity for and secure the company's very profitable and giant
very
future.
profitable and giant
I'm
future.
So sorry we got put into this shitty situation, but I'm not sure what else to do, man. If we don't get a solution this week, we risk everything. Once people don't get a paycheck, the value of the company goes from sky high to zero. Jason then goes on a rant. Bro, you want me to give you more?
Oh my
money?
God. Look at this guy's pissed. He's fucking pissed. He's like, you keep asking me for money and I keep telling you no. Bro, you want me to give you more fucking money when I'm already fucked? Damn.
When I'm already fucked? I'd have to come up with more money to save the company. Seriously, this is so fucked up. You don't deserve to keep how much equity you have. This is fucking crap for you to put me in this position so we can do this the friendly way or the hard way. Which one do you suggest? Call Tom A., your other investor, and ask him to borrow some money. You put me in such a bad position, you have no idea. And you're right, I am beyond pissed at you. I can't believe I listened to you about this deal. It's all horseshit. Originally, 10 cent was the deal, then iDreamscythe now. Now nothing, bro. This is all your own doing. You should have been more proactive than having me carry you. Where are all your other baller friends or your mom's friends with money? Seriously, am I the only fucking idiot?
Dude, seriously, am I the only fucking idiot here? This is unbelievable. Look, so at this point, I think he's realizing, because basically Steven was telling him he had all these other people, like that were all these other baller people that were helping him out and get Ashes of Creation off the ground. And then his mom had all this money too. And so this guy's thinking, well, if we get in trouble, he's got other people give him money that'll, because he always was supposed to be guaranteed that the money he gave him, he would get paid back that money. So he's thinking, well, worst case scenario, his mom, he can go to his mom and she'll give him some money, or he can go to some of his other friends and get the money to pay him back. But now he's realizing that this was all just pie in the sky. This was all like shit made up by Steven. And then so serious, like, seriously, am I the only fucking idiot here? Wow.
me carry you. Where are all your other baller
Oh my
friends or your
God.
mom's friends with money? Seriously, am I the only fucking idiot here? Had to have person A and person B help me pay that 3 million to get you to where we needed. I should have said no. So what are you suggesting I do now? Sell one of my homes? Borrow more money? What? I am on the plane. I texted your mom, go get her to find you some money, bro. I'm beyond pissed. You took money from me. This last 300,000, I specifically said I couldn't afford to give you, and you took 1 million from Mr. T. I have not said anything to him as of yet. When he finds out, he will come unglued and
Unhinged.
You tell me what to do. If I have to get a loan, sell some Bitcoin, and get more money, then you don't deserve to keep what you have. So send my lawyer a proposal and copy me for review. I am flying somewhere over the Pacific.
If I have to get a loan, sell some Bitcoin, and get more money, then you don't deserve to keep what you have. So send a proposal and copy me for review. I'm flying somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, and I land at 6 a.m.
Ocean, and I land at 6 a.m. Send it to my lawyer of what the company needs are, a current projections and losses, and use of proceeds for money, and what the offer is. Because honestly, I am so pissed, bro. You have no idea. Steven finally replies to Jason's crash out and says, Jason, bro, I know
He keeps trying to say, I know it's shitty. It's shitty for me too. He always says, I know it's shitty, and then the very next thing is, it's shitty for me too. Actually, it's not really. I mean, I know it's shitty for you, but you're the one who put yourself in this situation. I've put everything I have and almost 4 years of 16-hour days in the company. Yeah, whatever.
It's shitty. It's shitty for me too. I put everything I have in almost 4 years of 16-hour days into the company. It'll pay off though. We just got stuck in a bad situation right now with the shitty Chinese. I should have gone to do a round earlier. I wanted to get
Wow.
onto a round as strong as possible, so I waited. This company will be the largest MMO in history.
Look at this. This company will be the largest MMO in history, bigger than World of Warcraft's 13 billion. But I need 90 days to do a round. I already tried telling my mom she would help if she could. I wouldn't be asking you to help or find someone to help if it wasn't our last option. I've literally tried everything, and now we are at the last minute. I will do whatever you need. Yeah, you do whatever you need. Go to jail, buddy.
Bigger than World of Warcraft's 13 billion. But I need 90 days to do a round.
Wow.
I tried talking to my mom. She would help if she could. I wouldn't be asking you to help or find someone to
Wow.
help if that wasn't our last option. I've literally tried everything, and now we're at the last minute. I'll do whatever you need. Jason then says, you're giving up control of the company to me. I want 51% equity. I said that, and I'm fucking deadly serious. You want me to borrow money or get a loan or cover payroll?
Wow. What's bad is I can't believe Jason did it. He should not have done. I mean, I think what he's thinking at this point is that if he could save Ashes of Creation, you know, if he's basing everything on the fact that he believes that what I think he's so far in that he feels like his only way to get out is to give Steven this money so that he can pay his employees, then let Steven get this round of funding to keep the company going, and then hopefully the game will release and make tons of money and it'll all work out. I mean, it's obviously a huge risk on his part, but I mean, I guess he felt like there was, because if he doesn't do anything, then the company's going to go under, and he's out. He's pretty much out the money that he's already given, which is like $5 million. So it's like, do you want to just like basically give up and lose all your money, you know, at that point? Or do you want to, I don't know. That's tough, man. That is so tough. I can understand why he put more money in, because he's thinking, at least if I put a little bit more money in, I have a chance that it'll be very profitable for me in the long term, in the long run. But man, that's insane. Absolutely insane. And finally, we hit 61. 10 years later. Look at this. And he's basically saying, if I give you any more money, you're giving up control of the company to me.
Then you and John tomorrow have a serious powwow amongst yourselves and realize I've been way too nice for too long. Bro, helping this venture, and now when I specifically said I can't afford to give you any more money, you wouldn't go ask your mom 45 days ago, and I said I can't afford it, bro. Did you not fucking listen to me when I said that?
He is
put your
pissed.
big boy panties on and chin up, because I am not going to take your valuations of being some billion-dollar deal when you can't get deals done or get fucked on them and expect me, who is holding the largest step, which if this deal goes down because of this fuck up, I am losing all my money. 7 million, bro. Are you fucking serious? So you have a gun to my head, so to speak, when saying you have no other options besides me. That's pretty shitty. Tensions and emotions flare as Jason
Wow.
shows how serious he is by texting Sharon, the mother of Stephen Sharif. Stephen attempts love bombing Jason again, a timeless stratagem, ironically utilized by the companies that own MMOs after they beat their players into the concrete like dogs. This is how serious I am, Jason says. What I sent your mom. Sharon, I am on a plane. If I have to save Intrepid, understand you'll learn that I'm taking control of your son's company and will be the majority shareholder. Please take this seriously before you say no to helping him. 7 minutes later, Steven replies, all right, I'll do that, Jason. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I am truly sorry that we are in the spot we are in at the moment. I would not be asking you to help if I wasn't 100%
Yeah, that I wasn't 100% certain that I could do a hugely successful round in the next 90 days.
certain that I can do a hugely successful round in the next 90 days. I just need the time. Jason then says, my issue is beyond this deal. My issue is trust. You broke it. Now I am in a bad situation all around in so many ways. Steven then says, I never meant to break your trust, Jason. I love you like a brother and will work to my death to ensure that you get to reap the reward of the trust you placed in me. I know right now is shit, but I'll get us out of it. I just need the time to run the series, and beyond sorry that this has happened, and I beat myself up every night I try to sleep now. The Chinese fucked us, and I didn't see it
No,
coming.
it's the
my fault,
Chinese.
and
It's
I'm
the
sorry beyond
Chinese.
anything you can imagine. I want nothing more to see you enjoy
The Chinese
the reward
fucked
you
us.
trusted me. It's my driving force. To make my friends happy,
Oh my
and you
god.
are one of my few friends.
Yeah,
I'm
what?
sorry,
Yeah,
brother.
one of your few friends
Thank you
because you
for
were a
making
fucking
this happen.
moron.
Sad face. 2 days later, Steven would text Jason saying, I'm down with the fact that we are 50-50 in the company, and like I said, we'll be able to raise $50 to $60 million in the next 90 days. But right now, we have a short-term problem. Person C has nothing. My mom gave me what she has available right now, and we still need like 100,000 by Friday, or else some payroll is gonna bounce, and that's gonna be bad. I've gone everywhere the past 2 weeks and found nothing short-term because of the convertible
Wow.
debt. Sad face. I don't know what to do. I have every last penny in the Intrepid account that I could scrounge up. All of this, of course, directly contradicts the public statements Stephen Sharif has made about Intrepid Studios.
Oh,
being
it totally,
100% owned by him.
it totally does. It totally does. So he basically even borrowed money from his mom and everybody. And this was in 2019, right?
Alarmingly, like the snapping carbon fibers of Ocean Gate's Titan submarine, the cracks in the walls of Intrepid Studios glaringly
But this was
show that
2019.
Stephen admits someone he knows has nothing. His mother gave him what she has available, and that Intrepid Studios is still missing $100,000 to make payroll to employees happen. Stephen cites the existence of the convertible debt stonewalling him from getting more short-term loans in the past 2 weeks. 5 days after the last exchange, Stephen may have figured out a way to make that payroll happen, and finally gives good news to Jason. But just like how bad news can't come without the good news at this point, the good news has to come with the bad. Stephen says that a new agreement was reached between Intrepid and iDreamscythe for funding, and that Intrepid's advisors have started reaching out to more investors and venture capitalist groups. Oh, and that payroll issue? It's actually still not solved because Stephen needs another
Look, here's the good news. Here's the bad news. I still need $65,000.
$65,000 to put into the checking account before the payroll checks that were already issued bounce, so employees don't talk and abandon ship. I'm going to pause here for a second and let that soak in for you guys. But could you imagine a $65,000 overdraft? Jason then replies okay to all of this, implying he covered that $65,000, so the employee
That he says, can you know? He says, so the guy who did this video actually said that wrong. Jason didn't say okay. Jason said, can you borrow 65K from someone today? Because I can't do anything at the moment. I'm in Milan.
employees don't talk and abandon ship. I'm going to pause here for a second and let that soak in for you guys. But could you imagine a $65,000 overdraft? Jason then replies okay to all of this, implying he covered that $65,000, so the employees at Intrepid Studios actually gets paid and survives another week in California. Stephen meekly approaches Jason 2 days later, asking if it's fair to be a 30% owner with a seat on the board with voting rights. He expresses he does not want to fight with Jason and other investors and love bombs Jason again.
He's always love bombing the shit out of Jason. Is it fair to to be 30% owner with a seat on the board and voting rights. So basically, what he's saying, he's trying to back out of giving Jason 51%. I don't want to fight, and I don't want to see us lose our investments over the last 4 years. I've given to making this company, so I'm fine with it. I love you, like he keeps saying this over and over again. And I'm sorry I put us in this spot. He talks about him like he's, we all know that Steven's gay, but he talks about him like he's like his, almost like his partner. I understand your frustration, anger, and I'm working my ass off. This is how he says this. I'm working my ass off for us. See how he uses this word us? This is actually like psychological. Like to always say like I'm doing this for us, like I'm sorry I put us in this spot. I'm working my ass off for us. He should have been saying I'm sorry I put you in this spot. I'm working my ass off for you, because at this point you should say that because you fucked Jason. Everything you are doing right now should be for Jason to unfuck the situation, not for you. At this point, Jason doesn't give a shit about you because you fucked up, right?
With a seat on the board with voting rights. He expresses he does not want to fight with Jason.
When you say something like I'm working my ass off for us and I'm sorry I've put in this is a very egotistical, narcissistic way to say this. Someone who truly understood the situation wouldn't put it that way. I would never, if that was me, if I was Steven and I did this to this poor person, I wouldn't say I'm working my ass off for us. I'd say, man, dude, I'm working my ass off for you. I'm trying to get your money back because I fucked up. You got to take ownership.
And other investors, and love bombs Jason again. He also asks if he would be able to get the ability to buy some of the equity back later. This later leads to a conversation 5 days later where Steven is requesting another $2,025,000.
No fucking way. He asked for more money? God. How could he ask for more money? We might not be tracking on the valuation. I said for this money, you would have to give up 30% or more, not including anything else we have done. Sorry, but your screw up is your mistake, not mine. I'm equally valued as you are financially, and this mistake is costing you. All right, then 40% total, and are you giving me any ability to buy it back? Depends on my terms. But yes, I would give you an option, but I can decline.
Jason says,
We need to do this as a convertible. It actually makes even more sense for you. I'm not purchasing stock. I like it. You can book me in personally as a founder. Simple as that. But he's playing hardball. I'm not an investor. I am your partner.
not purchasing stock. You're giving me 30% of your shares. You can book me in personally as a founder. Simple as that. I am not an investor. I am your partner. Steven then says, for the month of November 2019, and to catch up on our bills from October 2019, we need $925,000. Jason is, of course, asked, well, what do you need? And
what I don't understand is how can Jason give him any more money when he said earlier that he didn't have it? Ouch! Oh shit! And going forward for December, what will you need in December and also in January? December will need 550 to 550. Okay, I'll get you tomorrow with the CJK I already sent you. All right, brother. Thanks. Can you make sure it's wired so the funds are... This I can't believe that he's still giving him money. Like he said he didn't have any money. Now he's giving him money again.
December and January. Steven then says December will need $550,000.
Oh my
and
god.
January will need $550,000 as well. Jason then says, okay, I'll get your $935,000 tomorrow. With the $65,000 I already sent, that's an even $1 million. Then I'll get the other $1 million within 30 days as soon as my loan closes. At this point, you all might be wondering how Jason is funding this. Well,
yeah.
He liquidated his cryptocurrency. Now, since it was Bitcoin he liquidated, Jason basically lost millions of dollars since he sold $1.1 million worth of Bitcoin back in...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. This Jason dude sold $1.1 million worth of Bitcoin in 2019. Even at the value right now, that's like... Oh yeah, oh my god, I can't even fathom. Let's say he sold it at the highest amount it was worth in 2019, which is probably around, let's just say 11,000, right? I'm lazy. I don't want to do the math. If I sold $1 million of Bitcoin when it was worth, and we're gonna highball and say $11,000 per share, how much would that be worth today now that Bitcoin is currently at, and I think it's, I don't know, I just looked at it earlier, was it 68,000? Bitcoin price currently is 68.7. We'll just say 68,000. $68,000. Oh, not 100. Okay, so what it was is oh my God. So so it was basically, okay, so it's basically 6.8 million. So the amount of Bitcoin that he sold to pay for fucking Stephen Cherie's fucking employees, to pay their payroll back in 2019, the amount of Bitcoin that this Jason guy sold today would be worth $6.8 million. So not only did he lose whatever money, because I know he's going to get fucked on this and lose money anyway, but this 1.1 million he sold, he lost another 7.7 million just because of that. So this poor dude, Jason, whoever this guy is in real life, which is probably why he gave this guy this information, just to like get it out there to show how much of he was fucked by Steven. But man,
if he had held that Bitcoin until early 2026. At this point in time, Jason, possessing even more risk and share in Intrepid Studios, tries to get more involved and asks how much the revenue stream will be in November, December, and January, with Steven confidently replying that $300,000 should somehow come in. As the exhausting year of 2019 comes to a close for Steven and his investor, more money is being requested in the form of $75,000 for bills by January 7th, $225,000
God,
for
how
yet
does he keep asking?
funding of the employee payroll by January 13th.
Oh my
For another
God.
$500,000 in the closing days of December, Jason refused to fund $200,000 of it until Steven actually paid back the $300,000 we'd mentioned some time ago in the video. Steven outlines what they need to survive until February 1st. $285,000.
This Jason guy. I'm sorry, whoever this Jason dude is, you are an idiot. I'm sorry, but if you just watch this chat messages back and forth from Steven and Jason, it's clear that Steven has no idea how to run a company. It's clear that he has no regard for Jason's livelihood. He doesn't, because he wouldn't continually asking for money, because you just wouldn't do that. Like a true friend wouldn't do that. I understand he thinks his company's going to make billions, but that's another problem, is he's completely delusional. The chance of any MMO being successful is so small, right? Now, Ashes of Creation had an opportunity. It had the player base. A lot of people wanted it to succeed, but he was too. I could talk about it for weeks, but let's let it go.
Sent by tomorrow, if possible. Another $295,000 by the 9th of January 2020, while Intrepid will get a Morgan.
Hey, brother, hope you're feeling. It's fun. It's funny how like so many of these messages from Steven always start off with "Hope you're feeling better." Either this guy's sick all the time, or he's just saying, "I hope you're feeling better because I'm bending you over, screwing you." Right?
Started in November.
Although maybe he would enjoy that. It's just Steven Shriek we're talking about.
RU contracts will allow them to $5,000 started the application $150,000 per month in pre-Morgan. That started.
I just sent over the draft of Shelter's agreement. They said we have 205 payroll. Okay, that's that. We already saw this. How our revenues now? We do about 100,000 to 150,000 a month in pre-orders. So this is now talking about how they're getting pre-orders. We do about 100K to 150,000 a month in pre-orders. See, this is not going to do you any good because they're pulling in 100K to 150 a month, but they cost them 550,000 a month just to pay their salaries. Our pre-launch revenue is almost entirely licensing dependent. We launch Alpha 1 in April this year. This will be a big money maker. This year we will do about 20 million in revenue after we launch on Alpha 1. Our most recent forecast, yeah, whatever. He keeps saying This is what we think we're gonna do. I wonder how much he actually made, right?
21 for a limited time frame, which in hindsight makes sense with how much money Intrepid seemingly needed with all these loans Steven was taking out. Of course, Creation Alpha 1 did not launch in April 2020. It launched instead on July 14th, 2021, and only ran until August 15th, 2021 for a limited time frame, which in hindsight makes sense with how much money Intrepid seemingly needed with all these loans Steven was taking out. Of course, Steven tries to assuage some of Jason's doubts with a reminder of how much his shares would be worth if he so chooses to convert the convertibles. So, Jason, to be clear, if you convert the remainder of the convertibles you have, by the way, putting you at like 28% or something, that'll be worth about $300 million in 2021. And
How is he
in
going to be?
2022, $448 million.
How is he going to estimate that? Where is he coming up with those numbers? I would be like, where are you getting these numbers?
If you don't convert it, it'll be worth about $220 million and about $328 million. Now, remember.
Now, and also look at this. Steven was like is so deluded. Like apparently all he cared about was like his wealth, right? Like let me show you this. And this happens throughout this video several times where Steven's talking about like it's all like bragging rights, like how wealthy I am. Look at this. Our game will launch with one of the highest pre-registrations of any MMORPGs ever. 2021, the company is going to buy you your own jet and name it the Karamanis Gulf, whatever. I guess that's maybe Jason's last name, maybe? Kara, can't be. He would have blocked that out. Yeah, kind of surprised he didn't. Jason Karamanis, through his entity Online Communication LLC, has filed several lawsuits against networkers over his private deals that have gone south. Just the deals he agrees to pay networkers. Yeah, but it sounds like that's who this guy is. I'm guessing that's who Jason is. You know, he was saying, "Oh, you know, our company's going to buy. You're going to buy your own jet. And name it the Karamanis Gulfstream." And then a bunch of smiley faces. How many pre-registrations will we have when we launch? And you can tell he's not falling into this crap anymore. He's just caring about the numbers.
$328 million. Now, remember, we are in 2020 now with these text messages, and the coronavirus or the COVID-19 pandemic is about to rock our shit. More cracks in the dam appear as Steven messages Jason late in the evening on the 5th of January 2020, saying, "Hey, brother, I know your loan process is still going, but we need $67,500 to survive this week. We just went negative $1,500 right now in the account. Are you able to send $68,000 tomorrow? I'm sorry the strain this has put us both through, but we need to make it to February. I think we'll close another investor in the next couple weeks. My neighbor and his friend are meeting me Wednesday. They like the pitch deck and are interested. And that SBA loan with JP Morgan will close before the end of this month."
He said, "Nope.
We can't get an eviction notice or lapse on the employee's health insurance that will happen this week. Is a wire possible tomorrow for $68,000? Jason says, "No, can't do it. I'm juggling monies at the moment, bro. Don't have it. I am on fumes. If you know someone to buy my 2011 Ferrari for $80,000 or my 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost for $75,000, I'll sell both of them. I have no money for you at this moment."
I can't believe this guy's willing to sell cars to try to pay this deluded, narcissistic fool named Steven Sharif.
Maybe in a week, I got the appraisal
Unbelievable.
today, so that's good. Waiting on documents to sign, then 3 business days from funding. Steven then says, "Okay, well, I've exhausted everything. So we are now only $140,000 worth of payroll." Sad face.
Yeah, wasn't it 85,000 short a minute ago? Maybe we should wait to get the Bitcoin until the end of the month. Not sure what we're going to do at this point. Well, bro, go ask your mom or find someone to give you. I need about a week to sign my loan docs. I'm not sure.
Should have waited to give Mr. T the Bitcoin until end of the month.
Mr.
Not
T.
Sure what we're going to do at this point.
Oh my
Jason
God.
Then says, "Well, bro, go ask your mom or person B to find someone that can give you a short-term loan. I need about a week. I'll sign my loan documents probably on Friday or Saturday and then fund on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. Jason replies with something that I feel finally shattered my frayed soul as I processed these text messages for the video. Jason was willing to sell his 2011
Yeah. Yeah, so he's going to talk about that. He was willing to sell his vehicles. Me too. I'm like, I can't believe that. Why would you be willing to sell your cars just for Steven? It's like mind-boggling. It's like, why would you do that, you know? Just, oh my goodness. I mean, it's just what I knew after the creation there was some really shady shit going on. You know, once they were going to Steam, I knew something was up. I mean, I for sure knew that that was really odd. You know, we all knew that. I mean, anybody who knew anything. But the other thing that was odd was like, if you go all the way back to when they released the stupid like Apocalypse, the Apocalypse, and everybody like, what the hell is this battle royale shit? Like that was really weird. Like why would you release a battle royale? And they said that they only did again, it was another lie. They did it because they said they were testing the combat systems. They did it because Steven was so delusional. And all he can see, all Steven can see in his mind is that video games make money. But he sees the biggest video games. I mean, how many games are made that actually make money? There's thousands and thousands and millions of video games that are made every year that completely flop and make no money. Every once in a while, one turns into like the improbable gem, the improbable golden egg, but it's so rare. Like when Fortnite took off and became this massive thing, and to try to jump on the coattails of something so niche like Fortnite is really stupid. I mean, you can't compete with something that's that big. You can't be like, well, I'm going to create my own battle. I mean, good luck. He tried to create like this apocalypse and somehow thought that this was going to somehow like take. I think he thought it was going to take off. Like, Fortnite makes this much money. We can do a battle royale, and we're going to make a bunch of money. So if you look at Ashes of Creation, Apocalypse gameplay, let's compare this to I love this video, most underrated battle royale ever. I don't know what the fuck. So this is their battle royale, right?
Here we go, Space.
I can't believe people have played this.
Morphs you into like a bush.
Oh shit! I
So-
think someone's here, Chris.
So here's their battle royale, and it's basically just it's kind of like Ashes of Creation, right? I don't know. But I mean, look at the bars up here. Look at the graphics are pretty bad. The UI is really bad. It's so delusional for Steven to be like, I'm just gonna put this game out and think like this is gonna be like the greatest thing ever, right?
Goddamn Ferrari for $80,000 and a 2010 Rolls Ghost for a mere $75,000 to get liquid cash, not just for Steven, because now Jason was starting to financially struggle. He admitted during our first call that it was rough times for him at this point, and for the first time in his life, he actually needed to borrow money from somebody. Jason was frustrated by Steven's constant begging for money, since yet again the developers and employees of Intrepid Studios may not have been paid because Steven is short $140,000. He mentions here at this point, and I add this for context, a Mr. T who was given Bitcoin. Mr. T is an associate of Jason who had invested $1 million into Intrepid but was never paid back or saw a return on his investment. Mr. T threatened to sue Steven, who feared that a public lawsuit would jeopardize Intrepid Studios and scare away potential customers. So, in order to save Intrepid's reputation, Jason yet again stepped in and gave $1 million after selling Bitcoin to Mr. T, so Mr. T would back off. In yet another crash out, Steven tells Jason the following: tried that. They don't know people like you do. Payroll is Wednesday. Not sure what's going to happen if we don't make it. There's nobody you
Look
know.
at there's nobody you know with Bitcoin or can give you a short-term loan. Oh my god.
Coin, or we can give a short-term
God.
150,000 to 200,000 loan.
This just paints Steven Sharif as probably I don't even know how to say it. It just paints him as an idiot. I mean, the way he treated Ashes of Creation, the way he treated the finances is so, it just shows no lack of business savvy. Like, he has no idea what he's doing. This is not how you run a company. And I haven't run a company, but just from my own personal experience of just understanding, checks and balances and understanding money coming in and out, I would never dream of trying to do something like what he's doing because it's just fraught with danger, right? But what was really interesting is someone posted in the comments, this one here, I said, I've been a non-game software for over 12 years. What I will say is this is exactly the same behavior you see from any Silicon Valley tech company, which blows my mind. But in a way, maybe it doesn't blow my mind because there's that TV show, Silicon Valley, which is a comedy, which is quite hilarious. And so maybe that's why that show was made, was because I just thought it was made to kind of satirize Silicon Valley, but maybe it was made because there was so much crazy, like poorly, poor decisions around finances for these startup companies.
The loan closes. 7 minutes later, Jason loses it. No,
He loses it. No, bro, you're kind of freaking me out that you're not able to get money at this level. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't even come up with 100,000. You kind of freak me out that you cannot get this money at this level. It's a reality that I don't want to be in your deal because you have no ability to get any money. I might have just lost 7, 8, 9, almost $10 million. You have literally broken me. Wow.
bro, honestly, you're kinda freaking me out that you're not able to get money at this level. It's kinda to a reality that I don't want to be in your deal because you have no ability to get any money. I might have just lost 2 million, 5 million, 1 million, 1.8 million, 300,000. Do the fucking math, bro. You have literally broken me. Can you I just had to ask person A to pay for dinner tonight for the owners of
Wow.
Jeanette's birthday because I don't have room
Wow.
in my Amex because it's blocked. I can see why person B is pissed, and if you can find someone to give you money for Bitcoin, I can go find some Bitcoin maybe tomorrow. I am tired of your deal, to be honest. 10.1 million so far, and you think I've made a money? No one in your entire life would do what I have done for you. And now I'm stressed not just because of you. I have funneled every dime into it.
And then what's the funny is whenever he goes off on Steven, then Steven counters it by saying, well, I've done the same thing. I've done everything I can. I've given up my whole life for this video game. No, you funneled it sounds like to me that Steven's funneled like maybe like $1 million or something. Like nothing near what Jason has funneled. And there's no proof of the money he's spent. It's all just based on his word. Like as far as I can tell so far, there's no proof that he spent any money, right?
I haven't been able to get money. It is that I've been putting it all into Intrepid. And now at literally the finish line, I had anticipated the final $300,000 to get us to.
Now, notice how he says at the finish line, this is 2020. I mean, let's take a little bit of a check here. It's currently 2026, and Ashes of Creation never launched, right? Even in January of 2026, it wasn't ready to launch. So 6 years ago, he's talking about the finish line. He was nowhere near the finish line.
The January. And to the
I'm just shocked. How did he go from this here at 2020? How did he make it to 2026? How did he even make it over the next 6 years?
From iDreamSky. I know how much you put in. I know you're basically like, my God, bro. I'm sorry about the other deal. It's fucked. I wish you and I weren't in such stress right now. The screenshot reads, I am pissed at you for introducing me to your son. Go fucking find.
Yeah, so now he's texting his mom.
Them $200,000 tomorrow or get lost out of my life.
Go fucking find him $200K tomorrow or get lost out of my life. Wow, he's so pissed off he went off on Steven's mom. Holy shit.
Go get your loser other son to give you some of your money. Now I understand why person D wants to sue you. Sad face, Steven replies.
Wow, look at this. Go get your loser other son to give you some money. So Steven's got another son. And what's funny is if you go to Amazon, right? If you go to Amazon and you do a search for, I think, Ashes of Creation t-shirt, right? This is really funny. And you go to Amazon, and I'm just going to do a screenshot of this. If you go to Amazon and you look for Ashes of Creation t-shirt, you'll find it. And it comes up on this 310 nutrition store. Well, guess who owns the 310 nutrition store? Three Trend Nutrition Store is owned by Tim Sharif. Guess who that is? This is the brother of Steven Sharif. So now he's saying, go get your loser other son to give you some money. Now I understand why somebody wants to sue you. Do you understand me now, bro? Go cry to your husband, bro. Not me. I'm in no mood to be happy now. I said I'm getting a fucking loan, and as soon as I have money, I will help you. But you can't seem to do anything here. It baffles my mind why you're a business owner. I'm so fucked. I can't see straight. And I asked you to politely go find another source for a week or two. Oh my god.
Jason then says, "Do you understand me now, bro? Go cry to your husband, bro. Not me. I am in no mood to be happy now. I said I'm getting a fucking loan, and as soon as I have money, I will help. But you can't seem to do anything here. It baffles my mind why you're a business owner. I am so fucked I can't see straight, and I asked you to politely go find another source for a week or two." Later, Jason then proceeds to post pictures of his checking accounts that are looking incredibly dried up.
Wow. $13. Available balance $27. Negative $14. Oh my god.
I also saw from the documentation that he withdrew over $100,000 from his 401k account, which is crazy. I think really the only financial advice you should ever take from a YouTuber like me is do not use the money from your retirement account to fund a MMORPG, okay guys?
And then again, Steven's like, so he took money. The links that with Jason went to continually keep Ashes running. The reason he did this is because he was part owner in the company at this point, and he realized, hey, I'm 10 million in. If I just don't do anything, the company's gonna belly up, and all my 10 million's gone. But if I keep just throwing in a little bit of money here and there, maybe I can, I'm hoping that the game will come out and that I'll get my money back. So he was really just hoping at this point. It's kind of like a gambler who goes to a casino and and has like $50,000 and he loses it all, and then he's got maybe $500,000 in his bank, and he keeps taking out 50,000, losing it, 50,000, thinking, well, I've got 400,000 left in the bank. I'll just spend 50,000 more. Maybe I'll win my money back. And then he loses it, and he's like, well, okay, now I've got $350,000 left in my bank, but I'll just pull out 50,000, and maybe I'll win that other 100,000 back. You just keep doing it, you keep losing and losing and losing until you lose it all. Will Sager initiate the wire transfer so it hits before 2 and can still make the... Oh my god.
Advice you should ever take from a YouTuber like me is do not use the money from your retirement account to fund a MMORPG, okay guys? Now I know many of you are bewildered.
Yeah.
Shocked.
I'm shocked beyond shocked.
At all this money.
I'm completely slack-jawed at this point. I couldn't be more shocked. This is just unbelievable. Like, what I'm seeing here is just... I never... Like, when you watch Steven... I think the one thing about Steven Sharif that people can agree on is he's very charismatic. Like, he's got a very positive aura. I mean, he's very upbeat. He always seems very happy. So it's easy to see why people would believe what he's saying, because he never looks stressed. He never looks like, like things are not going well. And I think that, so that, it's hard for people to look at this guy and say, oh my God, this guy's, scraping every week just to pay the payroll. You know what I mean? You would never think that.
Jason keeps shoveling into the Ashes of Creation engine. And like all of you, I was immensely curious about why. Why, Jason? Why would you keep giving Steven?
Well, because the reason he would was because once he's so far into the company that if he pulls out, he loses everything. He lost his 10 million, but if he keeps putting a little bit in here and there, and the game does launch, there's a chance he can get his money back. That's why he's doing it.
No ROI in sight. So of course, I asked Jason this, and he basically gave me two answers. First, he really did consider Steven a very good friend, and told me he's generally a very nice guy. I thought to myself as he told me this, okay, Can we also be best friends, Jason? Of course, just like any other investor, he wanted to see our ROI. He wanted to make money as simple as that. He really did want an MMO to come out, which is definitely not going to happen now with the now desolate Intrepid Studios. Second, he gave the impression during my conversation with him that after a certain point, he was in too deep with the amount of money
Yeah.
he invested into Steven.
Which is what I'm saying. He was in too deep. And the only way to get his money back was if Ashes actually became a reality.
Ashes to simply just, walk away and leave that money behind. In that aspect of sunken cost fallacy, I think Jason is definitely well suited to be an MMO player like everybody else. Perhaps his biggest regret is pulling in his social circle into this mess as investors, as he expressed to me him feeling bad about that. 12 days later, an abrupt text message from Steven shares that the next big MMO of the century's potential biggest investor is the former owner of...
At Raising Cane's, we're hyper-focused on being the best at what we do and getting it right every time. Cook-to-order chicken fingers,
What?
cane sauce,
What?
crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, Texas toast, iced tea and lemonade.
Finger looking good. I actually don't even know Raising Cane's slogan. Anyway,
Never
the
heard of
former
him.
chicken conglomerate is not all the adventurous venture capitalists out there Steven found. Apparently, he asked his neighbors for a $2 million investment and another 3 random people. He even asked a jeweler he happened to know for investment, and the jeweler agreed to do a $1 million investment by the end
Wow.
of February. Now, of
Okay,
course,
so
these are...
so this again just shows you that how charismatic Steven could be. Because think about this. He went to a jeweler that he just knew, someone he probably bought some jewelry from, and convinced the guy to give him $1 million for his gaming project. I mean, you can't do that unless unless you don't have some sort of charisma, right? So he was very charismatic.
wholesome pure angel investors. They also want equity, which means every loan comes in the form of 1-year convertible notes with the right to convert at a 25% discount in the next round, which is an absolutely crazy deal to make on Steven's part from a founder perspective. From to repeat, Jason says, so I'm getting money. There was just something so the realm between I figured absolutely crazy deal to make on Steven's part from a founder perspective. From a founder perspective, I figured at this point to convey Jason's story while also keeping our sanities in check as we descend into this hell, I'd include a very human moment here. It's a moment that occupies the realm between the worst and best of our realities in our lives. Some of us may have experienced such a moment in chasing dreams or chasing highs, but there was just something so poignantly beautiful about this text message exchange. I just had to include it. Jason texts, "You didn't call me back. By the way, congrats on getting money again."
I honestly, my dream is us sitting on a plane flying to some island with the family, looking back and laughing.
And Steven says, "Thanks, brother. I'm stressed beyond belief." Jason then says, "I was so stressed out lately." Steven then says, "Can't sleep past 3:30. Wake up every morning at 3:30 a.m. Get to sleep at 12:30ish. Not an experience I want to repeat." Jason says, "I am so broke. Had to borrow money. Sucks. First time in my life." Steven then stares off into the distance here and says, "I honestly, my dream is us sitting on the plane, flying to some island with the family, looking back and laughing." All Jason has to say to this is, "I would be happy with an iced tea sitting at a
Sitting at a Denny's at this point. That's great.
February 2020, after multiple times asking Steven for financial records, Jason loses his temper while Steven deflected and gave excuses. "Hey bro, my lawyer just called me, and what is the reason why you can't get updated financials? It's that fucking difficult to do?" He called me today and asked, Hey Jason, I like Steven, but he seems flaky and not reliable. You are upsetting me because you can't take care of business. Maybe I should take over the company and you should work for me because I'm getting pissed off that I asked for the financials 1 month ago. I can't raise money until I have updated financials. Projections only work for stupid investors. Steven says, moving to this new accounting firm was for sure a clusterfuck, but if it's not done by Tuesday, I'll drive over to them and see what the fuck is the deal. I promise I'll get that shit done this week 100%. 9 days later, Steven again relays bad news about the Chinese funders over at iDreamSky. I'm currently texting and on call with IDS about what is going on. So far, they have said they will be delayed up to 60 days minimum due to the coronavirus. Apparently, they have their entire company working from home due to the quarantine in their city. As soon as I finish with them, I'll call you. This is the absolute worst luck I've ever heard of. Jason says, I believe it's bullshit and a lie. I am doing business in China. Steven says, probably these fucking Chinese are the absolute most dog shit culture of people I've ever experienced. Another 21 days later in March 2020,
Oh my God.
Jason has had enough as the COVID pandemic gets into full swing and is demanding to be paid back in full or else. Bro, I honestly need you to give me the $330,000 you owe me. I thought about it, and honestly, it's the principal issue you put me in the bad place. As far as the business goes, your dreams and goals, regardless of mine or not, you need to start to think about cutting staff, as most people in tech will be soon anyway, and you need to think about how you move forward. I am asking politely for you to get a wire out to person A for the full amount and owed, otherwise I'll be forced to start a process that will hurt both of us. I couldn't afford $300,000 when I did it, and then you took another $1 million. Honestly, it's to a point that you gave me your word, and honestly, this is to the point of no return. Please wire my money owed in the email tomorrow. A day later, with no response,
Wow.
Jason then texts Steven, hello? You didn't respond to my email or my text. Steven then finally replies back, hey bro, I'm sorry we had to send the team home today since they closed the schools, and I got sick today as well, so I'm just now getting home and didn't have a chance to reply today yet. This is our current balance, $690,000. That gives us 7 weeks. I cannot send the $330,000 right now. I need you to give me some time to close one of the other investors. I'm working on it, bro. Please don't burn down our company out of principal on this $330,000. We have a lot riding on the success of Intrepid, not just investments, but the actual returns we'll see when we launch the game. Please give me the next several weeks to close another investor, and I'll get the $330,000 to you, brother. 4 minutes later, Jason furiously texts back, honestly, bro, you're fucking me, and this is not cool. But hey, it's okay. I am tired of this company, and honestly, your inability to or lack of being able to close deals with billion-dollar companies,
Wow.
as I was told, is honestly tantamount to fraud, including the supposed deal with
Yeah,
Tencent.
it is tantamount to fraud at this point. I think it is fraud, and you know, it's got to be fraud. Like at this point, he should sue him. I don't know if he does. I don't know. I apologize for watching this on the stream, but it was just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is unbelievable. This Stephen Street was doing all this shit behind the back while all these people were, you know, counting on Ashes of Creation to be the next big game, you know, and this is the kind of nonsense that was going on in the background. It's just, and just what's really funny about all this is, what if there was no Jason? What if Jason wasn't involved in this project? Ashes would have never gotten past 20, probably never would have made it. It certainly would have made it to 2020. It never would have made it to 2020. It probably wouldn't even have made it to 2019. I'd have to go back and look at the video to see where he first started giving him money, but Jason's the only person who kept this company afloat for, you know, a couple years there, you know? Yeah, maybe. All right, so we completed, I think, that quest. We still have to do. Oh no, we still got some stuff inside that. I'll say the alphas. Let me. I want to finish this. We're almost done with this stupid thing. We'll see.
That never happened or existed.
Okay, but hey, it's okay. I'm tired of this company, honestly, your inability or lack of being able to close deals with billion-dollar companies. As I was told, it's honestly tantamount to fraud, including the supposed deal with Tencent that never happened or existed. If I would have ever known that Tencent deal didn't close, I would not have loaned you another $5 million. I won't burn down your precious company, but honestly, bro, I am becoming more hostile, more angry, and more pissed off than you can imagine. My patience is done. Get the proper financials, balance sheets, and P&Ls sent. You have 2 weeks to comply with getting me my money you owe me. I should have never given you the full 2 million, and now I am screwed more and in debt.
If I would ever have known that the 10-cent deal didn't close, I
Wow.
would not have loaned you another $5 million. I won't burn down your precious company, but honestly, bro, I am becoming more hostile, more angry, and more pissed off than you can imagine. My patience is done. Get the proper financial balance sheets and projections and losses sent to my lawyer. You have 2 weeks to comply with getting me my money you owe me. I should have never given you the full $2 million. Now I am screwed more and in debt. More than a month later, in April 2020, Jason is impervious to Steven's attempts at casting an illusion spell due to his high resistance built by years of Steven's bullshit. Jason states, honestly, bro, I am starting to not have faith in you or trust you at all. If I don't have an email clearly explaining why I can't see bank statements from the moment you took my money up until current, and I can't have access to all books and records, and you're manipulating whatever you want to manipulate without turning them over, then I will start legal maneuvers, bro. At the end of the day, you won't have any company to worry about because I'll start proceedings against you. Now I have to wait because you can't give me access to it because it's not up to date. Is this a fucking joke, Steven? I did you a favor by taking Mr. T out of the way. Now you can put me in this situation. My money is the thing that floated you, and funny, this is bullshit. You can't simply send an email to the accountant to turn things over. 3 months later, in July 2020, you can feel the relief and relaxed sphincters in his messages as Steven shares very good news after talking to the bank. Intrepid Studios received a preliminary approval on a $22 million loan that could be issued around August 24th. The conversational tone returns to the text messages. Random things like Steven getting messaged by a fan on Discord after talking to the bank.
So I like this. I don't care about being a billionaire at all. Let me go back. Here, look, you are valued both as my friend and my brother and partner. I'm sorry we got into a bad spot earlier, but I'm getting us out of it, and I want us both to be billionaires. And then he says, after this, I don't care about being billionaires.
This is bullshit. You can't turn things over in this messages as
See, look, I don't care about being billionaires at all. I just want a partner that is reliable. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's like, Ashes Creation was been around for a long time, right? And I knew, like, when they did the Ashes Creation Apocalypse, like Battle Royale, I knew that was really odd. I thought this is really weird, and I thought there was weird shit. And at that point in time, I thought that there was funny stuff going on. But then they shut that down and they kept developing the MMO, and I really didn't pay much attention to it. And then at some point, I think about a year ago, yeah. Yeah, I was playing it, and then about a year ago, I saw where Ashes was, and I saw people starting to play it, and I started watching footage and say, hey, this game looks pretty good. So I went ahead and I paid at that point. It was the first time I ever given Ashes Creation, I think, any money, and I paid like $100 to get access to the alpha and all the betas. That $100 was me buying the game and also getting access to all the alphas and betas and everything. So I paid the $100, and this is about a year ago, and I played the game, and I thought, oh, wow, this game is crappy. I mean, there are things about it I liked, but it was still like there were all these kind of pathing issues with the mobs, and there were a lot of issues with the character movement and like stuff that that was pretty bad. I go, this game's pretty bad. I played it for like 5 hours, and so I stepped away from it for about a good 10 months, and then I said, you know what? Then they released it on Steam, which I thought that's a really odd move. I go, that means that kind of points to they're trying to get money, like they're in trouble money wise. But Ash just said the reason we released on Steam is because we've had it out in alpha for so long that lots of people have played the alpha, but now people are getting bored of the alpha because they've played it for the last year or 2 years, and so we're losing a lot of people in the alpha. So we're losing testers, and we need more testers to test all of the new updates that we're doing. So we released on Steam to get more testers. And I go, well, that actually makes sense because you release on Steam, you're going to get tons of people to play it. Tons of people. Anytime you release any kind of an MMO on Steam, if it looks halfway decent, people are going to play it because the MMO, there's a huge player base for MMOs. And so I was like, well, I can see that. I mean, that kind of makes sense. You're definitely going to get a lot of people. And so I get in and I start playing it, and I'm like, wow, this game's actually really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought this game's really fun. I go, I can see a lot of potential for this game. It had a lot of potential. And then, of course, it all blew up like a month later or something, and the whole company closed down and shut down. It was just crazy, all the stuff that was going on. And then this stuff comes out, and this video just has blown my mind. $115 million debt. Investors manipulated more and more money. I've been watching this video. This video is an hour and 19 minutes long. This guy Jason has given Steven Sharif so much money, and the links he's gone through to give him money. Steven Sharif is like completely deluded. I mean, this guy's delusional. This guy is like living on another planet. He does not understand how the world works. And I put a comment here that said the amount of sheer stupidity shown here by Steven is insane. And I said, Steven, because I know Steven watches videos and reads comments. Steven, seriously, narcissism alone is bad enough, but paired with delusions of grandeur and just utter and complete incompetence is mind-blowing. I mean, this is just mind-blowing to me that not only that Jason continued to give this guy Steven money, but that Steven lied. I mean, he lied to everybody. He was lying to his employees. He was lying to all the gamers, all the fans of Ashes. He was lying to. He was lying to people that would interview him about the company, asking, "Hey, you know, are you guys having problems with money? People are worried that you released on Steam because you need money." He goes, "Oh no, we're fully funded. We're fully funded." He kept saying we're fully funded. That was a lie, like a 100% lie. Just unbelievable. And this guy Jay says, "I don't care about being a billionaire. All I want is a part of this reliable and not hiding shit behind my back. You will get legal letters on Monday, bro. Good luck." So now this guy finally completely has given up and said, "I'm going to sue you. You had your chance to keep your word, and as you gave it to me now, your word means shit to me because you can't take time to give me what I'm requesting. Over $10 million this guy gave to the company, and you seem to think you have no obligations."
Even shares very good news
Wow.
after talking to the bank. Intrepid
So,
Studio
I mean, this is funny because this was like 4/25/2020, right? This was like fucking almost 6 years ago. And then all of a sudden, he says, "Bro, I will give you everything you ask for, my bank statements, QuickBooks, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just asking you to wait a couple more weeks because I'm trying to get you money, and I don't want this accountant focusing on this project instead of that. And I also haven't even gone through them because I'm working 18 hours a day. I'm not trying to hide or fight you at all. I asked politely on Monday last week,
received a preliminary approval
and can you get me these things? I didn't say they needed to be perfect,
on a $22 million loan that could be issued around August 24th. The conversational
And so basically what happened was then all of a sudden, he goes, "Good news, we got a preliminary approval on the loan for $22 million, right?" So then he got some sort of like funding for $22 million. And what's crazy, I wonder if he gave him his $333,000 back out of that $22 million. Well, I certainly hope he did, right? Because at this point, this guy's giving him like $10 million, See, look, we got preliminary approval on loan for $22 million, not 25. Still has to work with the bank, but I just got off a call with them, and they said if everything goes all right, we could expect a funding date around August 4th. Oh, lordy, 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 great news.
tone returns to the text messages. Random things like Steven getting messaged by a fan on Discord of them getting an Ashes of Creation tattoo is shared. Jokes start flying again between the two as they both believe they're in the clear. 6 months later, in September 2020, Jason checks in on Steven in regards to the aforementioned loan Intrepid is trying to take out from Commerce West Bank. We do know from public records Intrepid did manage to take out a loan from Commerce West Bank, but as you'll soon see, it was not exactly what they were expecting. 15 days later, on October 6, 2020, Jason starts introducing another multimillionaire named Robert Dawson to Steven Sharif. Robert was an associate of Jason's from the MLM days at Jeunesse. Robert Dawson would end up investing over $60 million.
Call me crazy, but didn't Caps the L when he replied to Jason? What do you mean? Here? LOL, praise the Lord? Yeah.
Ashes of Creation tattoo is shared. Jokes start flying again between the two as they both believe they're in the help from Commerce West Bank. We do know from public records Intrepid did manage to take out a loan from Commerce West Bank, but as you'll soon see, it was not exactly what they were expecting. 15 days later, on October 6, 2020, Jason starts introducing another multimillionaire named Robert Dawson to Steven Sharif. Robert was an associate of Jason's from the MLM days at Jeunesse. Robert Dawson would end up investing over $60 million into Intrepid.
Yeah, this is the crazy part. This guy, this Robert dude, invested 65. Now, so because we wonder, like, Ashes of Creation from 20, 18 to 2020 was basically just constantly living on borrowed time. They basically were they were living paycheck to paycheck. They were basically he was getting money from Jason to help pay the employees, constantly begging Jason for more money, constantly begging Jason for more money, just so he could pay the employees that were working on Ashes of Creation. Then this guy comes along, and I'm assuming that, and this guy gave like 65. I bet this guy Rob Dawson, which is he never knew Jason. But if you go back to the beginning of this video, he shows in here, he shows like a balance sheet that shows right here.
However, a quick look drew some evidence.
He shows here. Oh, I don't know what this is. This is something else. But he shows like a balance sheet of where the money was coming from. So this is the total number of money that Ashes of Creation like received, like funding, like 109 million. But this guy, Robert Dawson, put up like 59 million. And here Jason Karamanis put up 6.8 million. And then Intrepid Creations, I guess this is money that people donated or buying early access packages. I don't know who these other people are. But what's really interesting about all of this is Steven Sharif. Nobody knows what he put into the company. Remember, he was always saying that I'm funding this project with my own money. That's a joke. That's a complete laughingstock. He's not funding the project with his own money.
Personally, another 20 million more to his companies and bring in about $10 million from his close friends, making Robert's contributions to about $90 million. Stephen again has good news with bad news, reporting that Commerce West offered half of the requested loan amount. Apparently, the 13.4 million got disqualified, Stephen says, because it was far above our 2019 gross revenue total. So we are now working to get the final approval on $6 million instead. Still a good loan, but not as high as we were hoping. Jason then replies to his bad news saying, "This sucks. Look, bro, I want to be fair to you and not hurt the company, but you're not being authentic and transparent and allow me to help."
Apparently, the 13 million got disqualified because it was far above our revenue, so we're now working to get the final approval on 6 million. Yeah, 6 million is a lot different than 22 million. And originally, he was saying they were going to get 22 million. 6 million is nothing because basically they burned through that in a few months. Even the 22 million doesn't keep them going for very long. I mean, he was paying his employees at this point. It was costing him like $550,000, I think, a month just to keep the company going. So how long does 6 million last you? That's not even it's like 6 months, or it's like maybe 12 months, I guess. 1 million for 2 months, so 12 months. That's like a year, maybe. I don't know, but this sucks. But I want to be fair.
Make this company work on the financial level, which is bothersome, and I'm trying not to get pissed off, but you promised you would have something to me on November 1st, and now it's not happening for 1 to 2 more weeks, which you don't understand finance and I do. If you don't allow me to help with this company's financial status, I will have to start acting like not a good friendly partner. I need serious, actual accounting records of the company, all bank accounts, all bank statements, all actual file tax returns, and what the actual projections and losses is, not a fake P&L for the Main Street loan you're doing, bro. How can I help this company when you don't allow me to do anything and you block me from everything? It's starting to piss me off and upset me again. Steven's only reply to this is, "Sad face. I'm trying to get us this loan the best way I know how, bro. Sad face." Jason tries to have a sincere heart-to-heart conversation here with Steven, saying, "Okay, bro. The problem is you keep on doing the same thing, hoping that this happens. Okay, so what are you going to do with $6 million? It's not even close to debts owed. And then, when I bring investors into or around the deal, sophisticated people will want to see all cleared up documents. The issue is I'm trying to help us become successful too, and you're kind of like not hearing me. I'm wanting to help you on managing the company, its financiers, and the ability to raise money and be strategic. Your own short-sightedness isn't allowing this because you keep on hoping this loan for the last 5 months would appear. You're hurting yourself and the company by not allowing me into things. And honestly, I have not said boo to you and been very cool for the last 6 months." 8 minutes later, Steven would say, "I am 100% open to you helping in every area with 100% transparency. All I'm saying is let me get the 6 million done without spooking person B so I can get the 2 million done back to you this month. And then I'm even okay with you taking over the bookkeeping if you want, lol. It's not my area of strength, and personally, I don't even like that responsibility." Steven shares an Alpha 1 development update in December, right before the new year of 2021, along with a Forbes article saying Ashes of Creation is the #1 upcoming MMORPG. The hype train, of course, with Ashes of Creation in 2021 accelerates and grew more powerful for another 4 years. And it's a tragedy in hindsight, as the hype train wouldn't derail due to unmet expectations by a player base, but it would derail simply because there was no more money to complete the railroad. In the beginning of 2021, we see Jason try to step in gently again on the running of the company and inquiring about tax filings. He even brings up a very reasonable point about potentially relocating the studio to avoid the high Californian tax rates and expenses, since it's now proven most companies, including game development companies, can still be effective with remote work during COVID. Jason tells me in my calls with him that Steven could have hired Chinese or Korean developers and put out a game, and with no disrespect intended to the intrepid developers, Jason was simply astounded by the fact that over 200 developers didn't produce something more tangible. With incoming investments and loans, Steven Sharif is
Wow. So he was surprised that 200 developers couldn't produce something more tangible. Ooh, yeah, I agree. 200 developers is a lot of developers. I don't know how long that Ashes of Creation had those 200 developers working on the project, but there was a time there when you look at the amount of people that were working on this game and you look at what was coming out, it did seem for quite a while. And a lot of people said that. Like when you watch the videos over the last 2 or 3 years on Ashes, a lot of people say, "Boy, this progress seems, pretty slow."
the high Californian tax rates and expenses, since it's now proven most companies, including game development companies, can still be effective with remote work during COVID. Jason tells me in my calls with him that Steven could have hired Chinese or Korean developers and put out a game, and with no disrespect intended to the intrepid developers, Jason was simply astounded by the fact that over 200 developers didn't produce something more tangible. With incoming investments and loans, Steven Sharif is able to breathe a little easier at this point, at least until he needs more funding for Intrepid and his dream MMO, which is why we see a much more relaxed discussion of future projects and ideas on Steven's part. Funnily enough, Jason asks, what is your guesstimate on new projects, given this project, as of January 2021, will cost completion around $30 to $35 million? Steven replies rather interestingly here, depending on the project, board games could cost $2 to $3 million. Real-time strategy games could be $8 to $12 million. Turn-based strategy games could be $8 to $10 million to make. Single-player RPG is $16 to $20 million maybe. Arena games could cost $15 to $18 million, and a console port could cost $20 to $25 million. And of course, as we all know the ending of the story, at this point, none of these projects would come to fruition, Ashes of Creation would never really launch, and it would be taken down from the Steam store page. As for the time period between 2021 to 2024, it's very obvious that things just weren't going well. Yeah, Legacy Trust would sue Intrepid Studios a few years down the line for a writ of mandate to compel inspection of books. And this was really one of the first things in the public eye back in 2024 that was pushed out of the way of the hype train. It seemed like dissenting opinions, even constructive criticism, was pushed aside by hundreds of thousands of MMO players on Hopium or Copium. In the days leading up to the disappearing act of Intrepid Studios, Jason claims that Steven put up his house in San Diego for a second loan position collateral and asked for help from Jason and Robert to help prevent foreclosure on his mansion that he had live streamed from for many years to give Ashes of Creation updates to millions of gamers worldwide. Steven then claimed to Jason that Ashes of Creation would fully launch in 2022, 4 years before the publication of this video, and at least 3 years before the Alpha 2 phase launch. Jason claims that a Mr. R and Robert Dawson wanted to form a board to try to manage the company successfully and help streamline things, as investors really did want to see a return on investment and an actual product. Steven, not liking this apparently, drew a tantrum and threatened to notify the bank of the $3.7 million sitting in the Intrepid Studios account on Steam. Following that move, Steven made the Bake Post announcement, and we learned that he attempted to lay off 100 people on January 31st in an apparent attempt to avoid filing the WARN Act. We then learned that none of the employees were compensated, and a legal violation was made by filing the WARN and CalWARN Act on February 2nd. Since then, in contrast to his usual transparent and engaging public persona he's used for years, Steven has lurked in the official Ashes of Creation Discord server, moderating the wreckage of a ghost ship, banning people occasionally, even timing me out for one entire week because I posted a video being critical of him, only reacting to sympathetic messages and vague posting in response to messages from his former community accusing him of being a con man. I think a lot of people will also watch this video to find
I think
out.
it was funny is early on in Ashes of Creation, like when I first joined the Ashes of Creation Discord, which is a long time ago, I called Steven out for, I said that I was concerned about Ashes of Creation in the very beginning because Steven's history, because his history with multi-level marketing. Of course, I didn't know much about it then, but I was just concerned that I had heard that he was a part of multi-level marketing, which just brought some concerns because to me, MLM marketing really revolves around, usually, not always, but usually it revolves around selling people stuff that really doesn't necessarily do what they claim it does. You know, it's not usually a very, you know, it's kind of a, it's like snake oil, man. Like some people snake oil. Mm.
Out not what the hell happened behind the scenes with the investors, the funding, and Stephen Sharif, but also to find out what's going to happen with what remains of Ashes of Creation going forward. Jason's lawyer has contacted Valve to see about the $14 million owed. Commerce West Bank is now getting involved in trying to get its money back. While Jason certainly wanted to see a successful MMO out of all this, it's unclear what exactly is going to happen with whatever is left of the Ashes of Creation IP at Intrepid Studios. The line of investors, lenders, and former employees eager to pick apart the pieces of Intrepid's carcass, it's hard to say when we will see the results from those cases. Jason says he doesn't expect to wring out any meaningful amount of money from Stephen Sharif. Instead, he's told me he's going to sue Stephen Sharif out of principle and to make sure it's on public record that Stephen is a bad actor. I have no doubt, despite the trove of information Jason was kind enough to share with me and all of you, that will probably unearth even more details about Ashes of Creation, Intrepid Studios, and Stephen himself in the coming weeks, months, and years. As for the many players, guilds, and communities still navigating this debacle, I've been seeing a lot of people return to their familiar MMOs or try new ones or quitting the MMO space entirely.
They
I
have,
think
yeah.
what's important now is for a lot of people to come to terms with reality. I know a lot of people invested a lot of time and money into Ashes of Creation, and it's understandable. Many people are still defending Stephen or defending the idea of Ashes, but despite the human elements you see in both public and private spaces, whether it's that of generosity, compassion, or whatever, I think it's really important to look at all the available facts and information so far and really understand that this was not some sort of surprise out of nowhere. This dissolution was, at least to me, the culmination of years of severe mismanagement, incomprehensible, bizarre business decisions. Best case scenario, Stephen was an irresponsible smoothie blend of startup founder, MMO player, and gambler egos who may have been way over in his head. But none of that should excuse the actions or the very obvious lies put out by him. People he called his coworkers or his community. None of that should excuse the obvious foresight he had in regards to where things were going when he's parceling out equity, when he's giving up his own company, when he's not being transparent about the trouble that he or the company is in. You know, I mentioned this multiple times in the other videos, but no one's going to dog on a developer or a gaming studio for not being able to afford things. You know, like no one ragged on Fantastic Pixel Castle Studios for, you know, being dropped by NetEase as, you know, their publisher and having no funding to pursue their MMO project. It doesn't work like that. So I think there's definitely a strong case to be made for this guy's ego getting in the way. And, you know,
definitely.
talk about the worst case scenario, right? Like, oh, he was a con man, like it was a rebel from the start. But that doesn't matter either because the end situation was going to be the same. So I hope this video really clarified some things for people and given a glimpse behind the curtain, it certainly did for me. If you enjoyed the video or want to see more content like this in the future, we'll probably kind of dissect some things that I just mentioned in this video, like the Valve letter. Definitely subscribe, like, and hang out below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, so I feel sorry for Jason. I mean, it seemed like Jason was a really smart guy. I mean, like smart from a business sense. Maybe not as smart as he should have been, but he knew how business worked. You know how to get financing and how to get investors, and he knew all that stuff. And it just, yeah, it's just hard to. It's just sad, you know. Everything about Ashes of Creation is sad. So I don't know how else to say it. The game had a lot of potential, and to see it not meet any of that potential is always sad. So yeah, but this here though, just the amount of money these people gave to Ashes, jeez. Yeah, it sounded like he was a big part of what carried. Yeah, if it wasn't for him, the project never would have got off the ground for sure. And he really Just, just weird, man. I just can't believe that Steven was such a liar, like that he lied to everybody the way he did, and also just how delusional he was. He lied to Jason. I'm sure Steven, I think Steven had good intentions. I think he wanted to make a good game. And I'm sure he did, but he was all wrapped up in like how much money it was going to make him. And at the end, he was so desperate to get the game out that he didn't even care about losing his own company. Like, it was his company to begin with, Intrepid Studios. And he was just giving the company away to try to keep the dream of the game alive, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never ran my own business, but I can guarantee you I would be a lot more careful about how I did it than what Steven was doing. I'm like...
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
And there's a company out there working on Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and they've almost run out of money multiple times. I mean, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen has been so close to going under. But they've always been, but they didn't. They were always able to secure some funding, and they're still going strong. And honestly, Pantheon's probably one of the only MMOs that's nearing completion in this coming year that's probably worth playing. It's not like the MMO I would dream of playing. I mean, it's not like when I would draw up like an MMO, like this is what I want my MMO to be like. It wouldn't be Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, but I do think Pantheon Rise of the Fallen will be a fun MMO to play. I think there are systems in it that are good. So, but the only reason I brought it up is because I know they really struggled getting financing, but they were smart about it. The reason I brought them up is because I think they were pretty smart, and they didn't have a workforce that was very big. They hired people temporarily, because that's what you do when you don't have a lot of money, right? If you know you've only got a certain amount of money, you may like hire developers to just work on certain key systems. It has to be, you have to be agile. You have to be an agile company. Intrepid was not agile. And by agile, I mean development-wise. You have to be able to understand what are all the blocks. See, it's like you're building a city. What are all the building blocks I need to build this city? City's got to have a coffee shop. City's got to have, I don't know, a train station. City's got to have some business buildings, right, for the businesses. I don't know. And you have to hire the people to build the individual blocks. And so you have to estimate how long is it going to take to build the coffee shop? And what developers do I need to do that? And how much money do I have? I've got this much money on my balance sheet. I know it's going to take this much time to build the coffee shop. And I know, how many hours that equates to. And I know how much, the salary of these employees is going to be, per hour. And so you figure out, okay, I've got this much money. I can afford to hire 2 employees for the duration of this project. And they work at the company for the duration of that project. And then they leave. It's a temporary position. And that's kind of, I think, what Pantheon was doing, and smartly so. They would bring people in to work on certain pieces. When those pieces were done, they probably would leave. And then you have the core people of the company that are always there. They're the core employees that stay with the company the entire time. And I think that I try to remember the name of the studio that makes Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. I think it's Is it Visionary Works? Is that what it is? Visionary? Let's see. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Visionary Realms. Yeah, but I think they might have. I don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but I thought that they did go through some layoffs. When Brad McQuaid died, which I fully believe that was like a suicide or a drug overdose, because they never released like how he died. Whenever somebody doesn't release the cause of death, I always assume it was either suicide or drug overdose, one of the two. Because why else wouldn't they release the cause of death? The guy died in a car accident. The guy died of a heart attack. I mean, there's no reason not to release cause of death unless it's something you just kind of don't want people to know. Anyways, I don't know what's going on today. Like, I mean, it's 2 a.m. right now. I usually on Saturdays go to visit my wife, and you know, because she's living with her mom right now, taking care of her mom who's had a stroke. I don't know if I'm going over there. I'm kind of hoping that I'm not going there, because it looks like my wife was trying to come home on Sunday because it's my birthday Sunday, and she was coming at home to surprise me on my birthday, but she let the cat out of the bag. But I told her, I said, hey, if you're coming home Sunday, my wife doesn't like it when the dog's dirty, and the dog needs a bath, you know, and I had planned on getting the dog a bath on Sunday, but now she's coming home on Sunday. So I told her, I said, if you're coming home on Sunday, I said, I would prefer to stay home tomorrow or today to just clean up the house a little bit, you know, make sure everything's nice for her when she gets here, make sure that, and give the dog a bath. And also I got some other financial stuff I got to take care of today. I got some phone calls I got to make about certain finances that I've got to look into. So we'll see. If that works out, then maybe I'll be able to play some WoW in the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, if that doesn't work out and she wants me to go over there, which I don't think she will, because I've got a lot of stuff I need to do. If I do have to go over there, then yeah, I won't be playing WoW at all tomorrow. Probably. Definitely won't be playing WoW on Sunday, because I'll be busy spending the birthday with my wife. But I've been talking about my retirement, because I want to retire, and the sooner the better. But the problem is I don't have any money. I've never been very good at saving money, you know, and you know, I've been a party animal and a spendthrift, and so looking at my retirement, I don't have much money. You know, I've only got maybe 50 or 60,000. You know, spend my birthday at the outlets. Hey, what's up, Zilch? So you know, I'm broke. Like, I've got like some money in 401ks, but that's pretty much it. That and some Bitcoin, but I would love to retire, but I was trying to run the numbers, and according to AI, the only way I'm gonna retire with any kind of money is if I work until I'm like 70 years old. I'm telling you right now, I do not want
Kiss your ass goodbye.
I don't want to work until I'm 70 years old, you know. That is not something I want to do. So with the knockdowns. Man, dude, it feels like I've been in here forever, because I boosted this character. She was level 14 about 2 or 3 days ago, about 3 days ago, I guess. So I boosted her from 14 to 58. Came to Hellfire Peninsula, and I've been in Hellfire Peninsula ever since. And leveling a Disc Priest is pretty slow going. You know. So level 58. Well, I'm level 61, so I've leveled from 58 to 59 to 60 to 61, so three levels. And I'm still nowhere near done with Hellfire Peninsula. I did join a guild just about an hour ago. I joined this guild called Reflection. It has 442 guild members. And let's see. And the top rank is senior, no. What's the top rank? I guess here we have to go to. So the guild leader is someone called EM Sweetie, and their rank is My Lady in Charge. Senior officer is Baby Meow Meow. And then EM Golden Wing. I don't know what's going on with this EM thing. EM Baby Girl. Maybe these are all three of the same people. And Baby Snow, Holy Blossoms, Baby Honey Bun. I'm gonna think that either this guild is run by a bunch of gay people or it's a bunch of females. One or the other. I don't know. There's a lot of bunny buns and honey bunnies in this guild that are guild leaders or officers. Yeah, you know me, I hate doing quests, man. No, the XP is pretty bad. I mean, I'm doing quests because it's not really. I did get a chance to run 2 Hellfire Ramparts last night or yesterday. Yesterday I ran 2 Hellfire Ramparts. I healed them, of course, and they went pretty well. You know, I got the shoulders from the quest, I think, for the Hellfire Ramparts. The knockdown. I forgot these guys have that brutal knockdown.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
And we killed the one dude, the big boss dude, whoever he is, to get the trinket, the Overlord. And that's about it. But yeah, it's slow going. Killing these mobs isn't quick when you're a disc priest. You could be making that bit up about the quest experience. I don't know if you've ever played the TBC. Leveling is still pretty slow. I don't think it was really until like Wrath of the Lich King where they sped it up a little bit. You know? If I remember correctly, the Wrath of the Lich King was a little bit faster leveling. Yeah, TBC is still pretty brutal. Like if you're like leveling just doing quests, and not like really, because like a lot of people level really quick by doing, you know, dungeon cleaves. But if you're not doing dungeon cleaves and you're just kind of leveling doing the questing, it's pretty slow. I mean, it'll take you a good, you know, 4 days probably. You know, it'll take you like 4 days to get to max level. That's putting in like, you know, 14 hours a day probably. I mean, again, a lot of it depends on what class and how well you know the quest. There's a lot of factors, but I remember when they originally came out, it took me like a week. I think it took me like a week to go from 60 to 70. Like when when TBC originally came out. Oh. Well, yeah, I'm broke. I have no money. I need to retire, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've been pumping money into Bitcoin, hoping that hope against hope that Bitcoin will go up. I mean, I do believe that it will go up. I don't think it's going to go up as much as I would like it to go up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I need some rich people to start watching my stream who want to give me some money, because this old bastard is going to need some money to retire on, guys. How am I supposed to create my MMO? My Ashes of Julian Nation. My name's Julian, so you know. The Ashes of Julian. We need to come up with something. Oh, I already have a name for my MMO, though. I've already got an idea for if I created my own MMO, what it would be like, and I already have the name. Do you guys? I'm sure Zelch has heard the name of my MMO before. My MMO would simply be called this. I'll put it in the stream chat. And that's it. You have a memory of a gold. you have the memory of a goldfish. My MMO would simply just be called the World of Vosslar. And of course, the world is Vosslar. And the MMO is called the World of Vosslar. Need the big dudes. I must kill the big dudes. The quill of anger of a shore. We must kill them. We need some of that Asmongold streamer money, man. Oh, man. Well, you know, if Riot comes out with their MMO, and if it's really good, I kind of jokingly said, if Riot comes out with a really good MMO, I will make this channel. I will make this channel completely like all Riot MMO. We'll just like cover Riot like hardcore and grow the channel, right? Here's the big dude. Problem is, to get the big dude, you got to kill all the little dudes, because they're always around the big dudes.
Everything you never do and all you never say, never make it easier to numb out all
that an orc? No.
What's it gonna take to look away? Man, some days I hate this town. You never fail to let me down. Better stay away before I
What? I don't even know what their fighting game's called, man. They just laid off a bunch from the fighting game team. Oh, did they? Riot, I mean, they have a lot of money, though. Riot does. As long as they keep making money off of League of Legends.
some things never feel the same. Don't know where to start. It's not like this is new to me.
I'm just gonna keep killing. Killing is XP.
It's not like you
Even though we don't need these guys for our quest. Yeah. And then they name it 2K, 2X, 2 times KO. Yeah, that's a stupid name. I don't know who came up with that name, but that's a dumb name.
what's it gonna take before I break? Man, some days I hate this town. You never fail to let me down. Better stay away.
This is my favorite song by good old Sadie, my favorite AI singer. This song will be forever linked to Ashes of Creation because I spent so many hours grinding mobs on my tank in Ashes of Creation to this song.
Never make it easier to numb out all the pain.
Hey, anybody?
Not like anything was wrong. It never made it right. You're the one to come on strong, so I am
Okay, or don't invite me, bastard. Ah, yes, now you're in business.
the same old thing. Smiling through a bleeding heart. I'll fake it till I break apart. What's it gonna take to look away? Man, some days I hate this town. You never fail to
Yeah, it's gotta be. He's like dual boxing or something. I'm sure this was just following that one. Yeah, he's definitely dual. Yeah, the names. See, they always, when people do box, they always use the same names. Like, see, noobs, no noobs, no heal. So he's using this character to heal that character, right? But he doesn't need to because now I can heal him.
It's not like this is new to me. I really shouldn't care. It's not like you were there for me, so why do I still want you here? Here we go again. The same old thing. Smiling through a bleeding
Gonna have to do something with my
You can kiss your ass.
with my windows here because
what's it
there's so many buffs on these windows that I can't even see the health on my party frames. So I guess I'll just have to make them big, wider. I don't really like making them wider, but I don't really know what else to do. Radiant width. I hate having to do that. And I don't really want to remove the buffs. Or if we could just show the buffs that only I can cast, that would probably clean it up quite a bit. I got no mana. What happened to all my manas? Sorry, but we're taking too much damage. Taking a little bit too much damage.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Did I drink the wrong drink? Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, no, nice having the down. Yeah. Let me put this on follow really quick. Follow. I want to see, can I, options.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, I don't like. I should be able to turn off showing buffs on the frames, but I'm not seeming to have that kind of control. Big damage. Boom. Now I hit way harder than this warrior does. You know, you see how like I did a few spells and it's just like boom. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck. All right. I think that was it for that quest. Yep. Let's see if we can fix our unit frames. And then I'm probably gonna have to get to bed, guys. It's late, like really late. Big damage.
What's on your mind? Be good.
Okay, so let's take a look at these frames. Bum. I mean, I guess let's do. Guess what we can do is I hate how there's so many buffs that it's like it's fucking up the way I want this to look. I think we might have to just make them taller. And that way. I hate doing it. God, I really wish I could. I really don't want to. I mean, I guess it's good to see the buffs. If we go this, it goes that, and that's got awful ugly. I guess it is what it is. Yeah, we're gonna run into a problem now. You can see a lot of the quests are yellow. I don't remember. I do believe the quests in the next zone here are, yeah, I mean, these are 62. 62. It'd be nice to get to 62 before maybe moving to the next zone. I have to just start grinding some dungeons. Is it Slave Pens or Blood Furnace? Which one's the one over here? Hellfire Ramparts. It's Blood Furnace. Yeah. What is this? The Black Talon's Claws. Ooh. Actually, I think that quest would probably give us something, right? Suggested players 2. We don't need 2 people, do we? Nah. What's the quest called? The Matriarch? Holy hell, this guy's got a lot of health. Alright. That quest is done.
Arcanon Poros. Remember the lessons of the past.
We survived. You come back sometime.
It's a slight upgrade. Very
Roma.
slight upgrade, but it is an upgrade.
Kronakai Christor.
Good fortune, good health, long life.
I love how the kitty mounts, the epic kitty mounts, their movement is so good. Like the running animation is fantastic.
Light be with you. Be careful. Greetings. Farewell. Well met. Light bless you.
Alright. I'm gonna respec. Anyways, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. It is, what, 2 in the morning? 2:50? Almost 3 in the morning. So I will catch you guys later. If I do play WoW tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow afternoon, because I'm got some stuff I gotta do in the morning, and then I gotta wash the dog, which is always a pain in the ass, and then I got some chores to do around the house. And after all of that, then I'll probably play some WoW to get to level 62, or hopefully 63 would be nice. And yeah, hope you guys having a good Saturday. It is actually Saturday already, isn't it? I guess it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I'll catch you later, man. Peace out.